guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be creating a Axie inspired battle board. At this point, the story of Age of Sigmar has progressed from being in Gur for the last two years and has moved on to following the Dawn Bringer Crusades as they venture into the realm of fire and the realm of life. That's Garan, and actually my imagination was captured by the realm of fire for several reasons really. Everything from basically heavy metal to Mustafar, red decks in Magic the Gathering. That's basically what actually reminded me of. So we're going to be creating a battle board for the realm of fire. So I'm actually going to start with an old board of mine, which didn't really work out quite how I expected it to. I got a couple of bottles of cork and just went to town on the board, as you can see by this beautiful piece of art. Then with a little bit of cardboard, just going to spread it, create some texture, and rinse and repeat basically until the entire board is covered. Once that's done, we're going to leave it to dry for a couple of days. As you can see, the cork's basically caught on some of that texture that I had there before. If you don't have that, don't worry, you can just spread the cork and leave some gaps. You can always come back later on once it's dried and add more. I'm going to take a roller as well. I'm just going to go over everything to give it some more texture. I don't know if this actually makes any difference in the end, but it felt pretty good. It looked pretty good at the time as well. We're going to leave all of that to dry for overnight, maybe a couple of hours at least. The longer obviously the better. You can layer that on over and over. Another thing we're going to do as the cork is drying is we're going to just put some pebbles. I'm using slate here just because it's nice and flat. One thing I wanted to avoid with this board is creating too much variation in height, as it's going to make putting terrain pieces on later quite difficult. Slate obviously comes in nice like flat bits. It's quite easy to put terrain on top of later, which is what the plan is here. You're going to see me layering it on, patting it down. After that's all done, I'm going to come back in with my little special tub of coffee grounds, which come out of my coffee machine. All I'm doing is basically just adding a bit of surface cleaner or whatever antibacterial spray you have, and then just leaving it in there. I'm going to spray that over the cork and the rock. That's going to be quite loose at the moment, but that's not a problem. We're just going to go in with a brush that's been wet with a bit of PVA and alcohol just to thin it down, and we're going to cover the entire board. So after that's all done, it's all going to look wet. You just want to leave that to dry overnight. After that's all dry, that's going to be all settled in. You can even give the board a little shake just to make sure, but it should be perfectly fine. The cork's going to hold that, and so is the PVA. Alright, for the next part we're going to just basically buy the cheapest paint we can, because you're going to need quite a lot of it. So here I've just got some B&Q, or your whatever hardware store you have if you're in America. Just basic black wall paint, and just going to go over it. Just trying to get as much coverage as possible, and the thickness is also going to help with the texture. Make sure you just cover all the white from the cork underneath, and just going to leave that to dry. So once that's dry, I've just got some oil paint. I'm going to thin that down with a little bit of alcohol. The more vibrant the better in this situation. I'm trying to imitate the lava here, or the magma coming down from underneath the ground. So I'm just going to absolutely cake it on as much as I can. Leave it to dry for a couple of minutes while it's still wet. And then I'm going to take a cloth and start cleaning up. So if you haven't used oil paint before, it's a really good way of just basically creating washes that are quite cheap. You're just going to want to thin it down with some alcohol or spirits basically, and then leave it to dry for a couple of minutes, and then using whatever cloth you have, you can take away as much as you want. We're going to leave some very vibrant spots which are really going to look like that lava, and then leave that to dry overnight. And then once that's dry, you're going to see these nice bits of lava coming through. We're going to leave some very, very bright spots like this bit here. Alright, part 3, or part final, or whatever you want to call it, is just going to be dry brushing on some grey to make that rock look ashy, like you would expect on a volcano. So just going to take my biggest paintbrush I have, dip it in some acrylic warm grey, and just going to start brushing over the entire board. Just trying to avoid creating lines like I did. You want it to look a little bit more natural than that. But then that's about it. So the final product in some warmer light. Again, we've avoided too much elevation because that's going to make putting terrain down quite difficult. And we've got these very bright spots of red. And now I could have gone over with some yellow or white to make those red spots look even brighter and more magma-like. But to be honest, like, we're just going for speed here. We're getting those nice gradients. So here it is. So next time I'm going to be continuing this Akshi project, Realm of Fire, with some terrain pieces from Games Workshop. So I'm going to take the Fondian strong point and make it a little bit less Fondian, using some slightly darker colours and lighting. Just need to get around to putting it all together. But yeah, thanks for watching.